Hello and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction and we're diving back into the Untamed. We're diving into episode 26, giving you guys a double feature today. Yeah, I just finished reacting to episode 25 and yeah, we ended on not really a cliffhanger, but kind of, at least when it comes to like Wuxian's little meeting that he was having with Big Sister there, so I'm glad we got to see her again. And I'm hoping this means that my little cinnamon roll is on the way. Fingers crossed. So we're gonna dive in and find out. Okay, another fantastic episode. I can see why so many of you guys were like, oh, I can't wait till you get to the next couple episodes. I can't wait till you get to episode 26, blah, 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 blah. Because there's just a lot of there's a lot to dissect. But one thing I love about this and how the early part of the episode was going down, especially once Wuxian came into the picture, is he's basically saying everything in universe that I have been commentating as an outsider looking in for like the last 3, 4, 5 episodes, because there's so much about just this cultivators universe and the world that they live in and whatnot, all these different sects, and you know, that's just, there's no right or wrong, and everybody, it seems like everybody is bad. There are no real good guys here. There's people that we kind of sympathize with, and then there's people who are out here being antagonistic, and the antagonistic people, they just keep switching it up. Sometimes first it was the Wang clan, now the Wang clan's out of power, now it's these members of the Jin clan, and then this, like, it just, the dynamic keeps changing, keeps shifting, and I think like the viewpoint that these clans are having, outside of these, you know, delusions of grandeur that they are higher than heaven, or you know, this, that, the other, whatever, they think very highly of themselves and that they are righteous and they're doing the right thing, and years of teaching this, that, the other. So aside from all of that, one of the consistent things is they seem to, I don't want to say this, they seem to think that everything they are doing is right, in a nutshell, and anything that deviates from what they say is wrong, and that anything that they can basically do anything they want because it's all under the guise, or it's all falling under this realm of, oh yeah, we're doing it because we are seeking justice, we're doing it because we are, you know, showing them, you know, how it feels, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, this, that, the other. And it's like they just have this blanket view of, okay, this person, this little set of people hurt me, hurt all these other people, so all of them are bad. Every last one of them is bad, and every last one of them they're not people. They're what Wuxian was saying there towards the end to the guards who were begging for their lives, like, oh, you said that you didn't kill any people recklessly. It's because you see the Wen clan is not people. They're not people, so that's why you can say that. You didn't kill anyone recklessly. Same thing. They are out here. If you are remotely associated with Wen, you have it somewhere in your surname, you wore red to your prom, you, like, whatever, you have some mild association with the Wen clan, you are not human. You are a dog and you deserve to die. That is the viewpoint that they have here, because the Wen clan, granted, yes, under the leadership of Wen Rohan, did awful things, and I'm not excusing the Wen clan in any way, shape, or form, but they've got this sort of all or nothing attitude where it's like, okay, everyone must be eradicated, everyone is just awful and evil, and even though we are doing the exact same thing, we are fine because we're doing it in the name of justice. So it's okay when we do it because we're doing it in the name of revenge, an eye for an eye, this, that, the other. And it's like, you're literally doing the exact same thing that they were doing. Like, literally. So I love how Wuxian basically just called out all the bullshit. Like, dude, y'all are out here acting just like the Wen Clan. For a minute, I thought it was the Wen Clan up there on the throne and whatnot. Do you think that just because, you know, now they're gone, that everyone has to listen to the Jin Clan? Is that what's going on? That's one thing about arrogant people. They don't like being told about themselves. They don't like, as we saw from interactions with Wuxian and whatever that little cousin asshole of the peacock conversations we saw last episode and the beginning of this episode. Arrogant people tend to not like to be told about themselves in a negative way. They tend to not like that self-reflection because, you know, they feel that they are fine. They are perfect. They are completely full of themselves. So Wuxian out here spilling facts, spilling the tea, like, hey, y'all acting the exact same. Y'all doing the exact same shit. How are you any better than them? They don't like hearing that. They don't like hearing that. So it's this compounding thing with Wuxian and just all the other clans, which is why I can see why he ends up getting this awful reputation that he ends up having in present day, because every time he already was a very we've said it a million times, very rambunctious, spirited, adventurous kind of kid, and you know, rules and structure were not his thing. Rules and structure, Lan Zhan's thing. He loves them. He thrives off of them. You got rules and structure? Nom 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 nom. Give me that shit. That's Lan Zhan. Wuxian, miss me with that shit. I ain't got time for it. So it's just not his way of life. He doesn't necessarily mean anything evil or malicious by his actions. It's just he's not the type to do well with that sort of rigid, structured environment. It's just not him. So he's already been seen as kind of a deviant in the eyes of some of these older clan members who are more established, and you know, the martial arts world or the cultivators world has been this way for thousands and thousands of years, and this is the way it's always been, and the teachings and the lessons, this, that, the other, blah, 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 blah. And he is going against these lessons. Again, not coming from a malicious place, but just from a place of, okay, I get that we've always done it this way, but how come we can't do it this way? Blasphemy. Don't you dare talk about that kind of stuff. Well, I don't mean any harm by it. I'm just saying, like, what if there is this alternate method to accomplish this task? And like, no, we've always done it this way, and if you want to be good and righteous and holy and pure and everything good in the world, you'll do it this way. If you deviate from that way in any way, shape, or form, then you're the devil incarnate, and you must be crucified. Like, that's very much been a running narrative all the way through out. So these older members of these clans have already seen him as kind of this delinquent, degenerate. So then in more recent episodes, with the introduction of that, I keep forgetting, the tiger medal, the tiger amulet or whatever it is that he had, that, you know, gave him the power so he can play the flute and all that kind of stuff. With the introduction of that and that new power dynamic, and then his attitude change, it's just causing an even bigger rift between just the general populace of all of these cultivators and Wuxian. Wuxian out here on this island by himself, again, not necessarily coming with malicious intent, but he's going against the grain. He's not following the norms that everybody else is doing. He's doing things his own way, and they don't like that. So then he starts saying, well, hey, y'all are hypocrites, and y'all are assholes, and y'all are actually bad guys here. And they're like, rather than like facing the fact like, oh, you know, yes, he might be actually right. It's like, I can't believe he would say this shit. He must be evil. He must have the yin iron. He must blah, blah, blah. We need to... So you can slowly see those tides starting to shift and turn, and everyone's perspective of Wuxian is just changing. And now I'm sure with this little stunt that he pulled, rescuing the Wen prisoners, that's probably going to be one of the last straws on the camel's back that's going to have the rest of the world looking at him like, oh, he's out here trying to be the next leader of the Wen clan. He's trying to take over the world, blah, 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 and spin that narrative. We're getting that narrative, you know, spun through here. So it's unfortunate to see that narrative take place, but it makes sense because, again, the men in this world, are not necessarily accepting of change. Hell, if that's not mirroring our world as it is, I don't know what is. But yes, the older generation is afraid of change, and they've taught the younger generation to follow the tradition, blah, 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 and he's out here trying to just shake up the status quo, and they don't like the status quo shaken up. But even before that, like, there's so many things, like, in this episode, in that first couple scenes in the episode where, like, I'm totally on Wuxian's side. Like, yes, he may have caused this big ruckus in the middle of dinner, but, like, everyone there's like, I can't believe he said that stuff in front of all of us. I can't believe he caused this big blah, 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 blah. And even the Jin leader is talking about, like, okay, well, you've interrupted this. It should at least wait till this is over, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, yes, technically, there has been an interruption to this banquet. But I asked him, said, hey, I need to talk to you. Can we have a private conversation? That was the first attempt. But he wanted to be an asshole. This guy over here wanted to be an asshole. So it's like, okay, fine. You don't want to have a private conversation with me? We'll talk here. And then I start saying things. You still don't want to have a private conversation with me? You want to try and save face? Well, fine. I'll keep talking. So, yes, there was a disruption, but I can't be fully blamed for this disruption because I asked to have a private conversation. You chose to be an asshole. So, just stuff like that. But yeah, so we found out where they've been keeping the prisoners. We could see Cheng start to snap a little bit there. Again, because Cheng seems to be very much the type who Wuxian does not care what people say about him. You say something bad about his siblings, his family, he will curse you to the day you die. He will end you. But you want to talk sideways about him, whatever, he'll laugh it off, come back with some quip, or, just ignore it. Like, whatever, fine. You want to start trashing my reputation? Fine, fuck that shit. I don't care. Cheng very much cares what people say. Very much cares about other people's opinions and other people's opinions of him. And he is trying to live up to this mantle of, oh, my father was this great clan leader and I have to be this great clan leader, and putting all this pressure, and it's just trying to live in the shadow of this thing. And it's like he's encountering all of these little road bumps as a result of Wuxian's actions, and it's like, okay, you can see where, like, enough is enough. So I can see why Cheng is kind of snapping a little bit, but it's like, I understand why he is being the way he is. I understand why his character is doing the things he's doing. I'm not excusing it. I'm not, but I understand. I know, and like I've said in past episodes, I know there's so many of you guys in my comment section who hate Cheng for whatever reason. I'm still not there yet. I've not made it there. I don't know if I will ever get there. I may not ever hop on. I know there's some people who don't hate Cheng, but I know there's some of you who intensely hate him. I hate the character, and a lot of you have said it's because of stuff you've read in the actual novel itself, and they may have toned his character down a little bit for the series. I don't know. But right now, I'm not on the hate train. I don't like his actions. I don't like some of his behaviors and whatnot. But I understand where they are coming from because of who he is, because of the way that he sees the world and the way he very much values what other people think of him and say about him. So I understand why he was snapping there a little bit. Yeah, so Wuxian goes finds Cheng is like, hey, I found them. They're at this valley or wherever they said they were. But before you go, you gotta eat this pancake. Eat this pancake or else I'm not gonna take you. So she nom 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 nom. And then we go to the last locale for the episode. And they brought on all the dramatics. The rain was just a pouring. The rain and the lightning and everything. And oh my goodness. So we're searching for Ying, and we already saw that he had gotten stabbed through the stomach. I was optimistic that he was going to survive, but it seemed as though time was not on his side. And like I was saying in that scene, and like I said, so many other scenes, and what Wuxian was saying to them in the banquet hall, like, you guys are no better than the Wen clan, because it's one thing to say, okay, I'm seeking justice, I am punishing those who have done wrong, I am, whatever. But it's another thing to say, hey, these people didn't do me wrong. These people are related to someone who, in some way, shape, some distant relative of someone who did someone I know wrong. So I'm going to kill and experiment on them. Like, I literally just finished watching Saw 6 and 7 last night with one of my coworkers, and that feels like some Saw 6, 7 shit, where it's like, hey, all these other people and traps that you've got to potentially save or kill or whatever, they're unrelated to everything that's happening, and they're innocent bystanders who've done really not much to deserve being in this trap. We're going to kill them anyway. And I'm like, I'm getting very much those vibes from the clan, where it's like, no, we're not seeking justice. They are laughing and torturing and doing all this stuff because they enjoy it. It's not because they're seeking justice or because they're trying to right a wrong or anything. They enjoy it. They enjoy causing this harm. They enjoy the torture. And whether or not they see the Wen clan as people or as animals or dogs or whatever, still, they are torturing things. Even if they only see them as things and animals, they are still torturing animals. Like, I don't like birds, but you don't see me out here plucking one out the tree and like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and just stab at it and torture. Like, no, that's some serial killer shit. No, I don't like lizards, and they come into my house all the time because I'm a plant gay. I've got so many plants in my house. So things sneak in and make a happy home, and I have to catch them and throw them back outside. You don't see me catch them like, okay, now I'm gonna pluck your tail off and start stabbing. Like, no, like, just because I don't like you, or just because you are an animal and I don't want you around, doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and murder you. No. So it's like them thinking of the Wen clan as just animals, this, that, and the other. They're still out here torturing them, abusing them, and taking delight in it. That is where the issue comes in. It's not that they're seeking retribution or justice or anything. It's that they are literally just delighting in harming people. That's serial killer shit. Call a spade a spade. So, and I guess they're conducting some sort of experiments by attaching these soul collecting, or I forget the exact term they use, soul attracting, spirit attracting flags to the corpses and whatnot. So it seems as though when Wuxian was trying to use his flute to resurrect Wei Ning, that he wasn't really under Wuxian's control, because it seems as though he wasn't dead. He was just, what did the term she used? He had his spiritual consciousness snatched or something like that. And I don't know if that's a result of the flags that were, being attached to him and stabbed through him, and just some sort of spirit got attracted to him and is just in him, or like we remember early in this series when we were first introduced to him, I forget the exact talks, but there were conversations about like he had like some sort of encounter when he was younger, so his constitution makes him more susceptible to spirits. We've had this conversation before when they were like going to the lake to fight the water demon or something like that, and I think he got possessed a little bit there too. So it's like it might be related to that, where he's just very susceptible to spirits or something. I don't know. It may be stuff they did, it may be stuff that's already existing and just a combination of circumstances, but either way, it seems as though maybe he's not. I mean, he had a flag impaled through him and left for dead, so I would take it that he died. I don't want him dead. If what she said is true and he's not dead, he's just spiritually snatched or whatever, cool. I would like him to not be dead. I'd love him to not be dead. And if there's a way for us to cure this spiritual snatch, even better. But we'll just have to wait and see. So then last little scene there, Wuxian's basically helping the Wen clan, the prisoners, escape, and they came across Lan Zhan, And he's like, baby, if you leave the I keep saying martial arts world because I have word of honor in my head. But if you leave this, you're gonna be going against all of the teachings and this, that, the other, and you won't be able to return. And Wuxian's like, whose teachings, whose rules, blah, 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 blah. Basically, again, reiterating everything we've already said. This world is corrupt, and y'all think y'all are right, this, that, the other, and it's all bullshit. Your whole hierarchy is bullshit. Bullshit is bullshit. I know you believe in this, baby, but it's bullshit. And I don't think that Zhan was saying it that in the moment to like try and say, hey, if you don't follow these rules, you're gonna, or if you leave, you're gonna be going against all these rules, and you know how much I like rules. I think it was more so, hey, I live in this world with all of these rules and blah 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 blah. And if you leave, you can't come back. And I'm not saying that because I'm banning you or anything like that, or people. I'm saying that because I want you to truly consider what it is you're doing. Because if you can't come back, then that means that we can't be together. And I need you to be with me. I love you, and I would very much like you to be with me. So please don't leave this world of rules and whatnot that we have here. Because if you do that, then we can't be together. Because I'm not leaving this rule. I'm not leaving this world. So, baby, please don't leave. Because I love you, and I don't want to not have you. That is the essence of what I was getting out of that little conversation they were having there at the end. Basically, just Zhan's saying, I don't want you to go. Please don't leave me, because if you leave me, then we can't be together. So please don't leave me. So that is where the episode ended, and we're going to have to wait and see where the next one takes us. But that is it for right now. Who knows, maybe later in the week I might feel a little frisky and record another one. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's it for today. But I hope you guys enjoyed this set of reactions you got today. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications to be notified when all my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. Mwah.
Now it's again.